Hello. Welcome. Welcome, Karen. YL by Karen Ismar. That one I can't pronounce. Jen, welcome. Welcome to our interview with Kelly Bromelkamp. I'm so glad you guys can join us. Jamie, happy Oiler. Welcome. Send some love for Kelly. Here she's on the other end here. Getting ready to tell you all the secrets she learned. Melinda, welcome. Tell me where you guys are all from. There's Kelly coming on. Hey, where are you from, everybody? We're going to get started here with Kelly. She's going to tell us a little bit, as concisely as she can, about her journey in network marketing and some of the challenges along the way and what got her inspired to action and helped her reach her goals. Thank you, Ismar, for sharing. If you guys think this will be of value to any other network marketing girl bosses, moms, or other ones that are really trying to make it happen, please feel free to share it. I know that we've all got, if you're a network marketer, you got a team or you yourself that's trying to get inspired and work your way in this business. So let them know that Kelly's on with us and that she's going to be sharing her tips. My name's Leah Jervis. I'm a network marketing mompreneur trying to make my way in this business as well. So I'm looking for all the tips and tricks that I can get as well from other women that have made a success of this business. So I appreciate, I'm going to see how many different women that have fulfilled their dreams in network marketing that I can get on here to interview. I think it'll be great. I'm really looking forward to this. So today we got Kelly Bromelkamp tied in by Skype. She is in Iowa somewhere in the country, and she's going to be telling her story. So thank you for sharing this with your friends, guys. Thanks, Pinkies, Teddies, for joining. So Kelly she's been in the business for quite some time, a couple years anyways. And so she's had her fair share of ups and downs. The Oily Life, thank you for inviting your followers. So without further ado, as you guys are all coming on, I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you a little bit about her background and how she got started, where she came from. And she might be a little iffy. I don't know, Kelly, did you end up getting in to see the questions? So if they post any questions, you'd see them? Maybe.
Yes. I can see most of the feed right now.
Okay.
So I can see most of the feed right now. I can't see the video, but I can see the comments of
Perfect.
people joining in a heart.
Awesome. That's perfect.
Yeah,
so she'll be able to answer some of the questions that you guys might have. What's that? You're on now, Kelly. So tell us. What's that?
Hi, guys.
There you go. She is. Hi, Team Wildflower. Thank you for inviting your followers. This is Kelly Bromelkamp. Kelly, tell us exactly who you are, where you came from, what was life like before network marketing?
Well, I'm going to try to condense a little bit. So I'm Kelly Bromelkamp, as Leah so wonderfully introduced me. First, thank you, Leah, for putting all of this together. This is quite the undertaking to develop a way to interview via video, over Periscope, through Skype. I mean, holy cow, I'm super excited to do this and really, really thrilled to watch the development of this series. So can we get some hearts in here for Leah setting this up? I mean,
thank you.
Seriously, guys, this is super, super cool. So me, a little bit. As Leah said, I'm Kelly Bromelkamp. I live in the middle of nowhere in northeast Iowa. It's in a little area with a whole bunch of small towns. I mean, the county I live in is one of the least populous in our entire state. The income level is the lowest in our entire state. So I have a lot of challenges to work with as I'm building this business, which is, welcome. We all have challenges. We all have different things we deal with. So I I'm excited to be doing it. And what's great is that with network marketing, you can do it anywhere, because I absolutely love living here. I couldn't see myself anywhere else. I lived in Chicago for 5 years of my life. I went to school in a larger city, and I'm a country girl. I just am. And I can do this from anywhere I want, and I can get to an income level that the jobs around here just would never even be able to support. So Chi-Town, I see that shout out. I loved my time there. So thanks for tuning in. That's awesome. Anyway, before I found network marketing, I was a civil engineer. After a short stint in retail management, I followed my degree into civil engineering, where I was working for 5 or 6 years, and to be 100% honest, I was absolutely miserable. It was a desk job when civil engineering was sold as a job where you get out, and I couldn't stand it. My significant other, his name is Casey, so if I refer to Casey at any point tonight, it's my significant other who I'm living with and sharing this wonderful journey on life with. So he was recognizing that I wasn't happy and my life could definitely be better. It was taken out on him because I hated my job, and when we woke up on Monday mornings, I wasn't always in the best of moods. So that was my life before network marketing. And, I have to say, the great thing about, engineering, he's also an engineer, and it afforded us a life where we can live where we choose. We have a beautiful place in the country and are able to do what we like to do and pursue our hobbies and our passions. So it definitely afforded us the life that we liked, but it came at a big cost.
Awesome. For any of you guys that are just joining in, I've seen a lot of names just pop up recently. We're interviewing Kelly Bromelkamp, GirlBoss, network marketer, who has made her dreams come true through network marketing and is now working to share that dream with others. So if you have any questions for her as we go through, feel free to post them up. If she doesn't answer it right away, she might not be able to get to it or missed it. Just repost it again later. If you guys are loving the things she's telling you, give her a round of applause through your hearts. Tap it on the screen like this. And feel free to invite any other mompreneurs, girl bosses that you know, network marketers that are going to be, that could use this kind of encouragement and hear the realistic story she's about to tell. So Kelly, tell me, where did the change come in? Where did you run into network marketing that caused this evolution in you? What was it that inspired you to take it farther and take it to the next level, to change your life?
Well, there are several different little things that can lead up to this. So I'm going to try to make it as clear and easy as possible. First, the company that I'm with is a very, very product-based company, and I was using the product for a year and a half before I ever even considered the business. My sister introduced me to the products in the first place. We both knew there was a business opportunity, but at the time, neither of us were interested. Even in, the way that I felt about my job and my discontent, I really wasn't looking for a network marketing business. So the first thing that opened my eyes, that there was, in fact, a real opportunity, and it wasn't just $500 for selling oils to your friends on the side or something, was when I went to, our company has something called a harvest, where you're able to go and see the process of the products made from the very beginning all the way through the very end, which is really exciting and a phenomenal experience. while my sister and I were at harvest, and this was just like on a whim, we kind of decided to go. It was her 30th birthday, and we wanted to do something memorable and fun, and it was sure memorable. But while we were there, we met 3 men who were actually in very high rank in our company, and they were spending the entire month at harvest, which was a phenomenal experience. Oh, I did not live close. I live in Iowa. The harvest was in Idaho. They're 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, but for us, that's like, we just clump Midwest together, so it must be like the size of Rhode Island, right?
Right. Right. Iowa, Idaho, and Ohio are often confused. Anyway, these 3 guys that we met were able to spend the entire month at harvest, and they didn't seem stressed about it at all. They were all living the life that many of us dream of. And what really hit home is that they were real. One of them that I really connected with lives in a very similar location, I guess, in Minnesota versus Iowa, where it's small and rural, and he's outdoorsy. He hunts. Casey hunts. He likes the same things that we like, so we really connected. And when I got home, so at the time, he was walking through, and I heard him say that him and his wife had just hit the highest rank in the company while we were there, which was pretty cool. But I had no idea what that really meant. So when I got home, I, being the engineer, did a little bit of math. We didn't have an income disclosure statement at the time, and I discovered what the potential low-end monthly income was, and I was blown away. I understood why he could spend an entire month there and be super not stressed out.
Happy Oilers saying, so what was low end? What was that, the low end? We want to know. What number did you figure in your head?
We didn't have an income disclosure, but from what I could figure, it was minimum $30,000 to $35,000 a month. And
wow.
This was in 2012. Yeah, 2012. So Crown Diamond was our highest rank at that time. And it was actually more than that, but that was my low-end conservative estimate. So that's when I realized there was an actual income opportunity, and it wasn't the same as my friends who were selling stuff out of their kitchens. But it wasn't the moment that I woke up.
So what was it then?
Following that, I was talking with my sister off and on. We would often talk on my way into work in the morning. And when I was really discouraged, I kept telling her that I just have this feeling that I'm missing something. I have something right under my nose that I'm not seeing, that I'm missing it. And we'd go back and forth, and she's like, you're supposed to be a garlic farmer, Kelly. You're supposed to be a farmer. You bought this property in the country. You have land now. You're really into the sustainable living and, natural living, natural health. I think you're supposed to be some sort of a farmer. And so I planted a little garlic in my garden, and that is not my calling. So I garden. I do garden, and I can, and I freeze, and I have all of the food that we need for the winter. But that's not my calling as a profession. So anyway, still the feeling under my nose. And later that year, it was in August actually, there was going to be a Young Living corporate event in Madison, Wisconsin, which is about 2 hours from us. And I said, do you want to go? Let's just go. Let's see what this is all about. So other than Harvest, this would be the very first corporate event that we had ever attended. And we got together she called one of her friends, I called one of my friends. we were in a car, all of us driving up to Madison, and we got into an accident. We never actually made it to the event. Kim ended up breaking 5 ribs, her collarbone, and had a pneumothorax, which is a slight punctured lung.
Wow.
And was admitted to the hospital for the entire night. So I spent the night in the hospital with her. It was during that moment that, even though we had both loved the product already, we really built a belief in its ability and what it can do. But moving towards the opportunity, Kim got home and she's a massage therapist. She couldn't work.
Yeah, how could she work, right?
And literally the day after we got home and she was trying to figure out how she was going to make ends meet while she couldn't work, she got a check from Young Living. And at this point, she had shared with a couple people a couple of times, me, our mom, and a couple of her friends, like a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a couple $100, which was enough to get her some food and the necessities while she was laid up. While she was laid up, she couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So she started inviting friends out to her house and sharing with them. The next check she got was significantly higher, and about a month later is when I kind of burned the ship, so to speak. So I don't know the whole story, but the story goes something that I'm not even going to try. I'm going to completely use it. But I took a leap of faith, and I quit my job in civil engineering after seeing what Kim had been through and what she had done in about a month. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. I got the blessing from Casey, and luckily we were at a position where he could foot the bill for the two of us for a short amount of time while I lived a little bit off of my savings, and I took that leap of faith and went for it.
Happy Oiler just asked, were you ready for that? That's a big jump.
I was. So we were prepared for it in the fact that, okay, I'm an engineer. I do numbers all the time. We went through the numbers over and over and over again on how this was going to work for us. I had a small savings that I knew I could live off of. I prepared myself financially in that I had all of my student loans paid off. I had my car loans paid off. Any personal debt was gone. So the only debt I had at that point was our mortgage for the property that we live on. So I set myself up financially before I would consider that. I understand that everyone can't do that, but I was blessed to be in the position to have that opportunity, and we got very, very small. I mean, cut everything as possible out of our budget, Luckily, like I said, we garden, so we have a lot of our own food preserved for the winter. Casey hunts. His parents raise grass-fed beef, so
Uh-oh.
Hold
Can't
on.
see you anymore.
I hit something on my phone. I know, I hit something on my phone. I should be back.
That's okay. Yeah, there you go.
So we really did prepare. We really did prepare ourselves for the storm that could possibly be coming. And that kind of set me up for the reason I had to go with the business. Because I'm also the type of person that if I don't go all in I'm probably not going to do it to the best of my ability. And for me, that was the only way that I could go all in.
Right.
Was to leave engineering and say, I'm going to do this.
So they're all calling for it. You got Isamar and Julie.
That was my first why.
Okay, so that's what they're like. They want to know, what's the why then? So spell it out for them. Your first why was, and I know you told me earlier it was in stages as it developed.
So yeah, to me, and you'll hear this from a lot of other network marketers, your whys can change. It's not always the same thing throughout your entire career, and that was my first why. It was to rebuild the income level that I had just left. So I had to replace an income as fast as possible.
All right.
And I did that. So there were a lot of people that go a lot faster than what I did. I can attribute that to a lot of different things, but I'm not going to make excuses. Yes, it was a really good income. I was an engineer. It was a professional level income. But I did it in right around a year. I think it was 14 months.
That's
from
awesome.
The time I left to the time I surpassed my income.
All right, I'm going to turn this camera back around and talk to you guys directly. So for anybody that's just coming on, we're interviewing Kelly Bromelkamp. If you guys have enjoyed her story so far and want to hear more, give her some hearts, give her some love. Hearts are like a Periscope applause. So send her the love for taking the time to share her story with us tonight. Also, if you are a network marketer, I'm hoping to do many more interviews with people of all different companies. So feel free to send your mompreneurs and girl bosses this way. I'd love to hear their stories. The opportunities with network marketing are huge, and I think that the word needs to get out there, especially for the stay-at-home mom or those that are underpaid just because of our gender. So I want to get the word out there that this is an opportunity with it's endless. There's no ceiling to it. So feel free to share this with anybody that is following you, and feel free to send Kelly the love through the hearts. And if you're not already following me, make sure to do that so that you won't miss any future interviews as well. So Kelly, next, you've gotten us to, you're in the network marketing business now, you've stated your why, but we all want to know, how did you do it? In 14 months, how did you replace your professional level income?
Well, this is the hard part for me, the how, because when my sister and I started out, we didn't have, we knew who our upline was, but they weren't doing things the same way that we wanted to do them, and they weren't, I'm sure they would have been there, but we didn't know how to reach out. We don't know who to reach out to, where to go, how to ask. So we just figured that we had to do it on our own. And we made a lot of mistakes. And that's a big thing for us, is trying to catch our team and help our team not make the same mistakes that we did at the beginning, because that slowed our momentum down from the get-go, because we didn't know what we were doing. So we did a lot of home parties, which are still the basis of our business, our home events and small events, and then doing continuing education meetings in some of the locations. So where I live in this rural area, it's just a lot of little small towns, about 15 to 20 miles from each other, and all of them are 1,500 population or less. So lots of little towns everywhere. So it's lots of travel between little towns here and there. Another thing is that my sister had been in the company 6 years, 5 years before I joined. And while she really wasn't building the business, small town USA, absolutely, Sherry signs for sure. So while Kim wasn't actually building the business at the time. She had talked to a lot of our friends and family, and everyone knew that Kim was doing it. So he started building a little bit before I did, and that part of my warm market, the friends, family part, was pretty much like out. We live in the same area. We know a lot of the same people. Obviously, our family is the same. So I knew that I had to connect with people from my past, people from school, people from my previous employment, and move into my cold market a lot faster than what a lot of other people end up doing. So besides the home parties, and I just have to say, I am a shy introvert. So I've come a lot further since then. I'm way out of my comfort zone when I'm starting home parties. You should have seen the first one. Like, you guys don't even want to know. But we've come a long way. I now enjoy speaking to small groups, and I can handle large crowds. But I knew that I had to go into the cold market for me really was Facebook and the internet. And while I didn't want to take the time to build a blog, it was always in the back of my mind. But I did go to Facebook to connect with new people. And that was a really great resource for me. And social media is an amazing resource, a great tool if you use it properly. And again, I made tons of mistakes. Like, I did everything you're not supposed to do and then some. So when I see people doing it and I message you, if you're on my team and I message you, it is with so much love and the best of intentions, because I made so many mistakes and I ostracized so many people that I can see when other people are doing it, and I just want to hug them and tell them to stop before they ruin relationships. Because there are some that I will never get back, and others that it's just taking a really long time to rebuild.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like you've done.
So does that kind of answer the
Yeah,
how?
you and the how, and some of the challenges too you faced. The challenge of being an introvert, the challenge of not really having a warm market. Were there any other challenges you faced along the way? Those are two pretty big ones. Aside from not having a job to support You had a lot working against you.
Huh?
I said you had a lot working against you.
Yeah, I did. But that's what this business is all about, because everyone's going to have something working against them. And if we let that get us, then we're never going to succeed. So, yeah, look at your challenges, but then look at how you can overcome them, because that's how you succeed. Still to this day, I'm learning, new things every day. Recently, I'm saying, I need to get out there and prospect more. I need to continue to share the product. It's not just about building a team. It's about continuing to do the same things that I've done over and over and over. So there are always challenges and there are always struggles, but to overcome them is where you find the victory and you grow, because the growth is the best part of it all. Who I was at the beginning of this is not who I am today.
Yeah.
And who I am today is way better than who I was before.
All right, for anybody just joining us, I'm interviewing Kelly Bromelkamp, network marketing girl boss, who has made her dreams come true using network marketing. If you guys have enjoyed what she said, please give her a heart party. Let's put them all up there on the screen. Share this with your friends. And I'm going to do a series of these interviewing network marketing women and mompreneurs, girl bosses from all different network marketing companies. Share this with your leaders and send them to me. I would love to interview them. Everybody has a story. Nobody's done it the exact same way, but we can all learn from each other. I just think network marketing is a great opportunity, so I want to get the word out. If you're not already following me, make sure to do it so that you won't miss any future interviews. And Amber, you had asked a question, I think it was Amber, about how to share this if they're not on Periscope. There is a few different websites like watchonperiscope.com, and the other one is called Catch, I think. And you can, even without logging in, because I guess it's not, I think they ask for Twitter information from some of these. You don't have to log in. You could just look for me at Leah Jervis on there, and you'll be able to pull up whatever interviews are up there that are recent. Yes, you don't even have to log in. You can just search for me and then find the interview, and there should be a link, because then it's on the web that you'll be able to share it with anybody else. That's probably the best way to do it. Unless you know me personally, I'll share the link as well to probably many of my pages. It'll be on Twitter as well. I'll have the video. If I can figure out a way to put it on YouTube for the length of it, I'll do that. And if anybody has a suggestion out there on a video, I imagine this interview altogether will be about 45 minutes. So if anybody has an idea of where I can store it in the meantime, that would be great. And then we could all share it with our friends. So here's the next question, Kelly. Take us up to date. Where are you at today? What is your new why? And where are you going to take this business?
Okay, you might have to remind me.
Where are you at today? Let's start there. I know that was 3 questions in one.
Yeah. So today I am, and for those of you who aren't in our company, it probably doesn't mean anything, but I'm at a platinum level in our company, which is 4 from the top. I have 3 more to go. My next level would be diamond, which is the whole diamond level is kind of a big deal. But I have 2,500 people on my team, give or take. My business is over a $1.2 million per year business, which is pretty exciting, because if anybody were to own like a brick and mortar store or something like that was doing a revenue of over $1 million, that's a pretty huge deal. So right. When I look at my network marketing business and see what I've built in less than 3 years, just over 2.5 since I quit, I'm pretty proud of that accomplishment. But yeah.
What's the average? You said platinum rank. You said something about platinum rank and the income disclosure. So tell us, since we don't want to know exactly what you make, what do platinums make? What do people in the organization you're in at your rank make on average?
So I don't know it's just over 15,000 is the average per month. Just over $15,000 per month is what the income disclosure says for platinum. So it's definitely more than replaced my engineering income, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah. What other opportunities?
And right now I've actually surpassed my significant other's income as well, and he's also an engineer. So, yay.
Awesome. So what's your new why then? You said it's changed along the way, so what is it now? What's your goal?
It has changed along the way, and I actually struggled with not having one for a while there. But now, my why, the reason I continue to do this and I'm still doing this, is because I'm not going back. At this point, I am all about creating a legacy to set us up for financial freedom for the rest of our life, because that old way is not the way that I will ever live again. And if anything were to happen, I want to know that we are good. And that's the path we're on right now. I have big plans for lots of fun things in the future, including benevolence and my sister is doing a horse rescue that I really want to be a huge part of. But this is where my time is right now. So there are lots and lots of things that I'm moving toward, but right now my why is to never go back. That's and to keep that in the forefront of my mind, and to tell myself that every day, that this is why you're working, and to share that with other people. Because remember how I said that the county I live in is one of the poorest counties in our entire state?
Right.
And if you look up Iowa in general, it's one of the poorest states in the whole nation. That sets a level of people's abundance mindset in a very low place. And to be able to raise up more people to a place that they can see success and abundance and the things that does for your life, that's what I want to do. I want to raise this county up in many different ways.
That's awesome. I wish I could send her hearts. I wish I could send you hearts, Kelly. I'll just tap my computer. Give you a round of applause. That's awesome.
Thank you. I'll send you hearts.
There you go. That's just great. So you're gonna go right to the top. You're already, well, I don't know what you're making, but you're already at a level that averages $15,000 a month, and you're gonna only go up from there. What's the potential that you see income-wise? Because income really just is a method for us to start imagining in our heads what we could do with it, what kind of changes we can make with it. What's the potential do you see income-wise for a network marketing girl boss as yourself? What's the income potential in network marketing?
Well, if we're going by the income disclosure statement that our company has, the top of our company is earning on average $106,000 a month, which comes out to roughly $1.2 million a year. In talking to some of the people at that level, and that's the great thing, that guy that we met out at Harvest has since become a very close mentor of ours, which is, I mean, that's amazing. And they are at the top level. They say that is a very accurate number, and you can surpass that very easily. So I know that that potential is there, and I have no doubt in my mind that I will be there someday.
That's awesome.
And that someday will be sooner rather than later.
Do you guys have
a 5-year time? From the time I stopped,
5 years? Did you say 5 years? That's awesome. You guys listening, if you have any questions for Kelly, this would be a great time to ask since she's taken a water break there. But you might have had some challenges too, and you might want to be able to, you might want to ask her, how did she overcome, or how would she deal with the situation that you might be facing? So what are some of the questions that you guys might have? She touched on having a warm market that was no longer available, which I thought that was a great point. Another thing that people are often running into is, and you had brought this up, the popularity of social media and how difficult it is to actually get one-on-one conversations with people going. Maybe you have some tips on what you would do to start a conversation, to make the initial contact with somebody. And if anybody else has questions, I'd love to see yours too. That was my question.
That is a really good question, and one that I coach a lot of my team members individually on. Leah, will you be watching the questions while I'm talking, please?
Yes. I'll write them down. I got my pen.
Okay. Awesome. So I coach a lot of my team members on that individually because as their warm market goes away, they're asking, where do I go next? How do I do this? And while we all say all the time, just go find something that you're interested in, join more clubs, get out and meet people, go to the gym. These are all, I also use those same coaching methods, but again, going back to where we live, everybody knows it's everybody. And when I go to the gym, everybody that's there that's going to join my company is already in it. And they're trying to recruit other people at the gym. When I go to a beer club meeting, because one of my hobbies, and while this doesn't fit into the health and wellness, is brewing beer. Everybody that wants our product has it and knows how to get it and where to go if they don't have it. So to broaden the audience, especially from a small rural community, one of our only options at this point is social media or moving to another state or another city, and most of us don't want to do that at this point. So what I use for coaching in social media is a very similar premise, and that is to find groups and pages and communities online in social media that are related to your interests, the same things that you would do in person. So if you're a mom, go find mom groups. If you are a homeschooler, find homeschooler groups. If you like Chesapeake Bay Retrievers, which I have and I do, go find groups of people that like the same things that you do. And when you see a comment or a post, comment or post on it. Say something. And even say, I'm going to send you a friend request. I want to continue this conversation. Send them a friend request and send them a private message. Just make a connection and be friends with them. Because the people that join for your real life are the same thing. They were friends first. They were family first. You knew them first. You had a connection to begin with. And as you build a connection with these people that you're friending, that's when you can start to say, hey, I do this, or eventually it's going to come up. What do you do? How do you deal with this? Since we're a product-based company and we're in the health and wellness realm, how do you do this, or what do you do is always going to come up. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it comes up right away, and sometimes it takes months or years of building the friendship first. But that's how I do the coaching and teaching of how to build a relationship on social media.
That's awesome.
That helps.
Thanks for the tips. If anybody else has questions, we have time for one more question. I hope you typed it in the comments below so that you're ready to send it through, but I know there's a bit of a lag, so I'll give you guys a second if you have any other questions. We only got 2 minutes left. But here's what I decided I'll do is on Facebook, I have a fan page, group page, business page. I don't know what it is, but for my blog, The Making of a Mom. So you could go there, and I'll make sure to, do you still do classes or parties, she asks. But I'll make sure to post the link there, so at the very least you'll be able to share it over the next 24 hours from there. So Happy Oiler asks, do you still do classes or parties?
Yes, I do. We still do monthly classes in a lot of the communities that we have members in. I still, I'm still working to build up to that top level. So as new members come on and as new leaders emerge, I'm still helping them do intro events and get their businesses started. So the best way to do that is to show up. I don't personally host and invite lots of people for me because that market's pretty much gone. But I do teach a lot of classes and events yet in person. So absolutely. And there was someone that asked a question. I didn't read the whole thing about like a 2 years something, and I didn't see the whole thing. I think it was a brown, but
I think they were asking, did you...
support your team.
Yeah, I'll support your team. That's what she's doing now, is supporting her team. That's how her time is spent, Kelly's. All right.
I do spend a lot of time, supporting my team.
That's great. Kelly, thank you so much for doing this today. It was, you know, I just thought it was a great idea to get women that are out there really making it happen to tell their stories, and I am glad that you let me use you as the guinea pig. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Leah. This is a fantastic idea. I can't wait to see who else you get.
Yes, I have some others. Yeah, you had mentioned the different ranks in your company. There are a few that the gentleman you were talking about, his wife, mompreneur, GirlBoss, she's agreed to do an interview later. Her name is Brenda Schuler. And then a few others within your same organization, and I've got some feelers out for a few others as well, so I'm excited. Some of them are newer network marketing companies, and some of them have been around forever. So there are all kinds. So I'm looking forward to hearing from them. Thank you so much, Kelly, for joining us.
Thank you, Leah.
Say bye to Kelly with hearts, guys. Give her lots of hearts. Make sure to let her know your love. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for that. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to future interviews. Make sure, if you're not already following me, to follow me so that you won't miss any updates on those coming up. And feel free to share this with other women that are in network marketing. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.